Mic check. Mic check, mic check. I like doing that. Hello, hello. Hello. Wake up. That worst thing you can do is feed people. Well, we try to give you a little compliment. You know, we do have wine in the back. So my presentation, when I was sitting in the back, I decided to just change it, and wing it. Because the presentation today is relationship tune-up and cultivating positive relationship. And some of you are probably wondering why Debbie did a presentation on domestic violence. So I have my purple on tonight. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And all this month, our church has been in partnership with the Family Safety Center on Wednesdays in our Bible study. We've been doing classes on domestic violence. Domestic violence is something that anyone in relationship need a general understanding. They're not asking you to understand a lot, but you need to have an overview exactly about what it is, and it encompasses in your relationship as you go out and build relationships. And one thing for me, I am a certified domestic violence instructor on my job. Funny thing about it is life and God has a way with a sense of humor. Before I became certified in domestic violence, I was an abuser. Yeah. I didn't know I was an abuser. Okay? So, what I mean by that is this. Some of the same signs and symptoms that she put up, why people abuse, I was raised in a domestic violence household. And in my household, fighting, arguing, fussing was normal. It was normal all in my neighborhood, throughout my whole family. All my uncles fought, my aunts fought, my cousins fought, my daddy fought, my mama fought, my sister. We were fighters. And that was it. That was like the normal in the house. So growing up, kids are like sponges. You absorb those things. And the way that I entered into relationships was that it was normal. It was normal to have arguments. It was normal to enter into physical engagement with the person. You exert your power and authority over people. And one thing that brought me out of it was becoming certified through my job as a domestic violence instructor. And going through this class, I went through a 40-hour training, 5 days a week, 8 hours. I had breakthroughs in my personal life. I went through the class for my job, and in actuality, it helped me. It helped me understand that, Gwen, you are an abuser. And then, knowing that, I had to take ownership for my behavior and my action. And then I began to understand that there was a lot of things wrong with me. And what I mean by wrong with me, I had a lot of embedded beliefs that were wrong. We call it faulty thinking. And it's not a blame that you assign to somebody, because all those different categories that she put up there, we have people that we know are just like that, and some of us in here are still struggling with that. But I believe that when you know better, you do better. And in knowing better and in doing better, I was able to overcome those things. I became the person that I used to hate in my house, which was my father. I became my father. Because if I hated what was going on in my house, how could I end up doing the same thing that I hated? You understand? So, in relationships, it's a tricky thing. The thing about relationships is I started my makeover when I was 40. And in learning myself, I had to do some surgery. And in doing surgery, I began to read self-help books about relationships. Because one thing, that old cliche, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of changing relationships. My average term was 5 years. Every 5 years, I had a new relationship, and I was tired. And I had to figure out what was wrong. So check this out. All my exes, if you line them up right here, and you ask me, what's wrong with number 1? Crazy. What's wrong with number 2? Crazy. What's wrong with number 3? Crazy. What's wrong with number 4? Real crazy. But what's the common denominator with all of these people? You. So, if you turn the table, because we can see things in other people that we can't see in ourselves, right? If I gave them the mic and you asked them what's wrong with Gwen, they probably would get in a football huddle. And when they come out crazy, so it's hard to say I was crazy. What's funny, Sean? But the magic was this. I began to read. I began to search for what was wrong. What was wrong? What was going on? And believe it or not, it took me all the way back to my childhood. And then going back to my childhood, I began to understand how I ended up in this cycle of abuse and this merry-go-round with people that I was dating and why I couldn't keep a healthy relationship. One thing that I found out, and y'all have to be honest, that I had no idea what a relationship was. None. Nada. So, honestly, where did you learn about relationships? Parents? Come on. Trial and error. Come on. Where did you learn to be a husband? On the fly. Where did you learn to be a good partner? Where did you learn? Where did you learn it from? How did you learn how to, court a girl? How did you learn how to do that? To get a phone number. How did you learn? Friends. Wow. How did you learn?
Probably
Friends. How did you learn? Parents. Wow. How did you learn, sir? Parents. Ooh, you messed up. Mika, how did you learn? No, seriously, think. How did you learn? How did you learn how to be somebody's woman? How did you learn? Crazy? How did you learn? Your mom. This is a $100,000 question. What if they were wrong? What if they were wrong? There is no manual that you can get to say, I'm finna read this so I can learn how to have a good relationship. You buy a microwave, once you take that baby out the box, open it up, it's a manual inside. It's a manual. They tell you how to work that microwave. Buy a brand new car. Open the glove compartment, what's in there? A manual. They tell you how to operate that car, right? Most life things that come with instructions to tell you how to put them together and how to operate them. Relationship is one of those mysteries that people are still trying to figure out. That's one of the areas that we make the most mess out of in our life. Because she said trial and error. You see a movie, they give you a perfect relationship, and there you go. That's how it should be. Love Jones. Love Jones put a print on me. You hear the song. Baby, you know how it go. You know I love you, girl. That's how it go. Now you got everybody want to be what? Superfly. Everybody want to be the Mac. Everybody want to be whoever it is that they like. And then you emulate. You see your uncle now. There you go. Boy, come here. I'll show you how to treat a woman. This is how you treat a woman. I'm finna tell you something. Remember the color purple? Remember the scene when Miss Sophie got out of jail and they were sitting at the table and they were talking to Mister and the dad had hit the table. Boy, you gonna the grandfather had taught Mr. and Mr. had taught Harpo how to be a man. And then the little kids were sitting there eating, watching all this, soaking it up like a sponge on what it means to be in a relationship. The grandfather had taught Mr. and Harpo to beat their women and what a woman was and what she should and shouldn't do. That's how they fashioned their relationship. Some of us just like that. Just like that. But what you have to realize is everything that you need is out there, the information. You can't expect for it to come and knock on your door and open the door and say, hey, my name relationship, I came to help you. It ain't gonna work like that. You gotta go seek it. And you're gonna find it, but it does you no good to come to workshops, hear things, leave, and don't apply it. It does no good. I came out of my dilemma, my struggle with relationships from reading for the last 10 years, and I still read. One of the best books that saved my life, thank you God, Ayanna Van Zandt, In the Meantime. Because what she did for me, she showed me that I was the problem in all my relationships. I was the weed in the grass for all my relationships. I could not have a healthy relationship because I was not mentally healthy at all. I had no tools in my belt for when I got upset that I could pull out to help me. I had no tools in my belt to help me when I wanted to express my feelings to help me. I had no communication tools in my belt to help me. I didn't have none. I was just learning on the fly. And then guess what I was doing? Everybody that I meet, I left a path of destruction. Turn it up. Turn it up. And then I go off and tear somebody else up. And then tear somebody else up. And that's what I did. It's not proud. I'm not proud to say it. But I know the errors of my ways. But I had to correct it because something was happening to me and I was beginning to understand that this not right. That's not right. It can't be right. It cannot be right. And I was not inherently happy with myself and what was going on. One thing that I had to understand was, Gwen, you can't do it by yourself. And there was nobody in my immediate circle that could help me. I had to go outside my circle and get around people that could help me. I did go to counseling. That helped me. But I began to also invest in my own knowledge by buying books, self-help books, reading. Okay, this one don't apply to me. I need another one. Listening to audio. Getting around other people that was in healthy relationships, sustained relationships, also asking questions that could help me. So what I want to do today, I want questions. I don't want to talk because I want to make sure that when you leave that you got a start. Within an hour, we can't solve it, but we can give you a boost. So I want questions for relationships. What you doing? What's going on? What your problems are? What's going on? I want questions. Timmy.
I got this 50-50 problem.
Okay.
I'm serious.
It's 50-50?
50-50 problem. I guess me not being in relationships enough. It's hard for me when people say when you're into a relationship where you gotta bring something to the relationship. You know, sometimes I'll be like, what can I bring to the relationship? And I'm serious. I'm like, what can I bring to the relationship? Because most people, as I was hearing a lot of the speakers, just want physical. As Pastor says, one Sunday, make love to a girl.
Well, you know, that's absolutely true. And this is what I believe. I believe this. I hate to say it, Tim, but you can't get more than what you are. Okay? And once a person tell you what it is they want and who they are, Maya Angelou said, believe them. And if that's not what you're looking for, because see, you got to be willing to enter into this relationship. So when I lay my cards on the table up front, I'm really telling you this the deal for being with me. And if that's not what you're interested in, then you got a choice.